sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy, Denali, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it with another Forza Horizon build video, man. In today's video, we are going to be taking a request that I've seen pop up a few times recently on the channel. And this request is coming from JH Gaming and Alex Rakumar, and they both want to see Adam LZ's Mitsubishi Evo 5 build. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the buy car section of the game. Head on over to the Mitsubishis and select that 1999 Mitsubishi Evolution GSR right here. Now this appears to be a new car. Not too sure if it was from a DLC pack or something like that, but nonetheless, we have the car. We're gonna buy it up. Free to buy, that's pretty good too, man. Gotta love free stuff. And now that we got the car, let's go ahead and jump into this build. Now, for those of you guys who watch Adam LZ's channel, recently he actually blew the engine on this car, which is why I was a little unsure how I was going to approach this, if I should wait until the engine gets rebuilt or just go ahead and do the video as the car was when the engine blew, since, you know, I don't really feel like waiting too long. So first and foremost, we're going to check out our engine swaps. Now stock, this thing has a 2-liter turbocharged motor. Then we have the 6.2-liter V8 or the 1.6 Rally. I'm going to stick with the stock engine size on this one, just to keep it kind of authentic here, even though we may do a few things different. We're going to check out a couple of our different options here for the front bumpers, because I don't think Adam's front bumper is stock. It looks a little bit different than this Evo bumper, but since there is no front bumper with the fog lights that are mounted in the middle, I think we're probably gonna have to go with just the stock front bumper on this one. Rear wing, I'm just gonna check out a few of the different wings, and by the looks of it, he has the Sirona Street rear wing, how it kind of V's in at the middle over top of the brake light there. That is definitely the wing that Adam has on his car, so I'm going to go ahead and install that. As far as the side skirts, we are not going to be putting the mud flaps on here. Now that we got all that good stuff out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take care of our tire setup. Now I am going to throw on a race tire compound on this car. Since it is all-wheel drive, I want it to handle like it's on rails. If this were a rear-wheel drive car, I might pick a different tire just so I could drift a little bit, but since this is predominantly just going to be a handling car, I'm going to go ahead and just put the best tire that I can get on here. Now I'm going to go ahead and check out some of our wheel and tire options here, and I think these HRE C103s are going to be the best bet. Now I'm going to have to change the color up on these. However, the style is definitely close to what Adam has. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave the wheel diameter where it is, just to keep this thing looking nice and stancy. I am, however, going to widen up the track on this thing just a little bit. Once we lower the car a bit more, I might come back and make a few adjustments here. But as it sits, we want a nice poke coming out the side there, and I think that looks pretty good. So next up, we're going to upgrade pretty much everything on the drivetrain. Gonna do that sport transmission on there, and then I'm gonna upgrade the differentials just to give me a little bit of play. I can go in, make some adjustments, and maybe put a little more power to the front or the back depending on what it needs. We're also gonna go ahead, upgrade those brakes. Obviously gonna have to slam this thing. We're gonna go with the race springs and dampers on this one. And we're going to do a little bit of anti-roll bar action here, just because, like I say, I want this car to handle as good as it can. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade all of the suspension. And I think one thing we will do is a little bit of weight reduction on this thing. Pull out all the unnecessary stuff, since this thing was, I think, 2,800 pounds. So we're going to go ahead, take a little bit of the junk out of there. Now comes the motor. Now this thing running 400 all-wheel drive horsepower. We're gonna go ahead, do a couple of different modifications here in order to achieve that number. We're gonna throw in the pistons, upgrade that compression. Turbocharger, we're gonna go ahead and upgrade that fully. We're also gonna go ahead and install the intercooler as well as the oil cooler, because this car does have one. We're gonna upgrade that flywheel, and then we're gonna take care of a couple of other different items here. Upgrade those valves. We're gonna go ahead, upgrade our exhaust and our intake, and that's gonna put us right around 400 horsepower. Now I'm sure when this car comes back in a couple of months, it's gonna have a completely different horsepower number, but for the time being, that's what we're going with. One thing I do want to adjust is just these front tires. There's a little bit too much poke up front there. Doesn't really match the back now that it's lowered. So we're gonna go ahead and make that adjustment right now. And now that we're done, we can go ahead and get into the paint, man. But before we do that, we're gonna make some adjustments in our tuning. Gearing, we're gonna leave alone. The suspension is basically what I would like to dial in right now. I'm gonna go ahead, zero up the camber as best I can. As far as the springs, I'm gonna lower the front just a little bit to even up that wheel gap, and I think that should be good. Differential, we're gonna put a little bit more of the power to the rear, and that's gonna be good. We'll make a few adjustments if we have to, but I think that'll be nice for this car. Next up, we are gonna go ahead and jump into the designs and paint. Go ahead and paint the wheels. Now these things have a gunmetal gray finish on them, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead, skim through a couple of my different options here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the brushed steel right now. The paints are not anywhere close to where I want them to be, so I think this is probably gonna be our best bet right now. And now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna apply some decals here. Now I'm gonna have to search for the Evo vinyl that is on the side, so I'm gonna go do that right now. Dang, now to be honest, this would be perfect if I could see the letters. You know what I mean? And if I do it black, then we use the yellow V right there. Alright, I'm going to have to get creative here real quick. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is do a little bit of custom work here. Resize and move this to where I want it. Go ahead and do the same to the opposite side. And then just grab one of these black Evo logos with no number, and then sneak attack that down here real quick. And that is gonna be perfect right there. And now that we got that out of the way, there was one thing that I wanted to do, because I did actually just realize panning around this car while I was doing this. This car is an Evo 6, if you can see that badge right there. So what I want to do is go ahead and cover that up. So we're going to get a white decal. Oh no, I can't even cover it up. So we're just going to be driving around with that Evo 6 badge on the back and our Evo 5 badge on the side. But I guess to keep it somewhat authentic, can't really do anything about the back badge. So we're just going to leave the side one the way that it is for our screenshot for the thumbnail of this video. But I'm sure I've probably already got numerous amounts of comments at this point in the video telling me that I'm an idiot and this is not an Evo 5. Just realize that right now, folks, if you can imagine that. All about the attention to detail with your boy. Just kidding. But now that we got this thing all ready to go, we're going to see what 400 horsepower in a Mitsubishi Evo is like. Now, I'm not expecting this to be a major powerhouse, but one thing I am expecting it to do is handle nicely. Very little body roll coming around these corners, getting into a little fender bender there right off of the bat. But yeah, we're in a nice set of roads right now, lots of turns. So we're just gonna go ahead, take this thing for a little rip, see how she rides. Passing. Oh, we're almost gonna make the pass. And I'm not gonna lie, even just as a build to drive, this thing is so easy to handle right now. Most cars I get out here, I'll build them like just to crazy specs. Rear wheel drive, front wheel drive, it doesn't matter. And they just don't handle that well. But this car has been riding like it is on rails. The more I drive it, the more I'm starting to get used to the brakes and the grip. But coming around these corners, it is just hauling some ass.
You have arrived at your destination.
Little bit of bogging there down in the lower RPMs, but that's okay. It's to be expected with a all-wheel drive car, especially when you're fighting for traction coming out of those corners in such a higher RPM. The brakes work fantastic. This thing stops on a dime. Oh, running into the concrete wall. That would have demoed our car. Now, really, for 400 horsepower, it's not crazy because it stays planted to the road. Like, the back end doesn't swing out at all on this thing, even though we have it, most of the power going to the rear wheels. This thing's just pulling. Starting to get into a little bit more straighter roads here. Lots of cars out today, I gotta say. See if we can hit some twisties up down this road here. Up down this road. Okie dokie. Love the graphics in this game, man. That's just, Forza does a great job just of making such a realistic video game. Could sit here and play this for hours, but unfortunately, once I'm done with this video, I'm gonna have to go and edit. Passing the TT there on the right. Like, oh, coming into oncoming traffic there. Now, the top end power is nothing special with this car, but really where it shines is when you're getting into the turns. This thing just rides like it's on rails. Wouldn't mind getting one more little session in here of some twisties just to really show you guys how it performs. Love the way that turbo sounds. Coming up to the top of the hill here. Just humming along. Alright, well, these twisties, nothing incredibly special. So what I think I might do is fast travel back to the city where we can go ahead and find a nice spot to take our thumbnail for this video, especially since it looks like it's going to be raining pretty soon here. I want to go ahead and do that before the rain starts getting in the way. So one thing that I might change about this build is just the way that the wheels look. The color is just a little bit too bright for my likeness. But nonetheless, everything else looks good, performs great. Really am impressed with the handling on this thing. Just an absolute beast. So if you guys want to rock out Adam LZ's Mitsubishi Evo, I'd suggest going this route. It definitely handles really good. And I'm sure once this thing comes back, it's going to have even more horsepower. It's going to be even more of a beast. And we're going to have to come back and refine this whole design once again. But for the finishing move here, I guess we're going to go ahead and do the move that killed this car, that boosted launch. Bogging out big time. Definitely very underwhelming there. But overall, I enjoyed this one. I hope you guys did too. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to put an end to this one. So as always, I am your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally. We're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace! Oh no! Oh! Oh no! Oh! Oh, oh no! Oh no! Oh!